May I have your permission to introduce Namdevji Maharaj, because we have his presence here live. So just in few minutes he will deliver his live message as well. Thank you. Maharajji, it was a wonderful video. We were able to feel all the natural elements and the feel of yoga, essence of yoga. Please continue with your message. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ubuntu that has prevailed across the globe, in fact, comes from the very essence of yoga from India. Yoga rocks, but yoga rules. This is the message today. Yoga has taken fancy and has gone global. But this science actually comes from time immemorial. And most importantly, the land of Madiba and the land of Mahatma Gandhi. And most importantly, the essence of yoga does not lie in confinements of physical exercises. It is inclusiveness of all there is. And that is the message of Ubuntu, that we are the people through other people. We cannot exist on our own. The very existence of our life is because there is everything that exists in harmony. So the science of yoga is something which is part of our lives, whether we call it Ubuntu or by any other names. And as the messenger of spiritual world, there have been many masters, and one of who has enlightened the entire universe with his wisdom is Sadhguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj. And he, in fact, talked and explained yoga in a very simple term and said, Yoga yoga sab koi kahe, yoga na jana koi, ardha dhara uradh chale, yoga kahave soy. It's very simple, and it says that, our disposition, which is draining all our energies, if the same energy is channelized constructively and turned upward towards achieving higher dimension of life, this human life could be celebrated as who we actually are. This is exactly what it means. So whatever we know of yoga today cannot be restricted only to the walls of the physical benefits. It has to go beyond that, right? I mean, would you call a 4-year-old child a yogi because he can bend his body around? Would you do that? I don't think so. So yoga is much more beyond the human concept and the perception which it creates through the senses. It cannot be understood with the help of senses. One has to go beyond the time and space reality to know his or her own existence in life, because we are not body, we are not mind, we are much more than that. And if yoga can teach you that science which takes you towards a higher dimension of life, when you transgress the limit of space and time, then the actual essence of yoga can be brought forward. That is possible only when you start getting into meditation. And that meditation, if yoga does not lead you towards meditation, meditation does not mean that just focusing at one particular place in the body. And it is much more beyond than that. If yoga leads you to a higher dimension of life, which in fact in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that samattam yoga uchyate, yogastaha kuru karamadi sanga taktva dhananjaya, siddhaya siddhayo samabhatva samattam yoga uchyate. Look at that. So I would just like to conclude with just few words here, because I know that there is a time limit here, that it is not about exercises, because Sri Krishna brought forward this knowledge, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and because Arjuna was totally bewildered as what he should do, and in the state of confusion to bring about the clarity as what he should do, Sri Krishna imparted him the science of Brahma Vidya Bhyangam Yoga into him, and said that Samattam Yoga, in the times of achievement or in the times of misery, if one is equipoised, if one is stable, that is the state of yoga, where you are just totally undeterred by anything what happens around you. You are just stable, rooted within yourself, and nothing can affect you. But at the same time, you are very geared towards taking action. So that is what is needed in the world today. We see such a reactionary world today, but where we should be more responsive. So the thought comes from yoga, when we are supposed to be responsive and to enlighten the world with our wisdom. We cannot be reactionary. So I think day-to-day's life, yoga shall be incorporated just to broaden the vision and overall will be entire place of humanity. And that is the message of Narendra India and the land of Ladita to South Africa. Thank you so much.
Inclusiveness. In a world where we normally either compartmentalize or disintegrate things for better understanding, how in his own experience does interconnectedness help us connect with both nature and humankind, but most importantly, looking also at the forces of creation and the bounties that Mother Earth is to all of us?
Thank you so much. As the Ubuntu and the very concept of inclusiveness into whatever there is comes from the very basic principle of yoga. And yoga has become a global phenomenon. But most importantly, what is most important here to understand is no matter where we come from. Suppose that if I, just to give you an example, okay, yoga comes from India. But do you think that in South Africa there could be better yogis than India? Of course. So if I am adopting a way of life which is nurturing me as a human being, expanding my horizon and making a better version of myself, has it got to do with any nationality? Not at all. That's why yoga today, especially in Europe, there are so many Europeans, they do a much better yoga than any one of us from India. But the science originates from India. So the very talk of indigenous culture or the science, in fact, yoga is universal consciousness. This is what we have to understand. The very theme of yoga is universal consciousness, which permeates through the entire universe, and we are part of the same. We are not devoid of anything that we have around us. I mean, whatever it is you can see around you. I mean, you are using this technology. We have this technology which has taken the whole world, no matter where you are. So the very theme of inclusiveness is about bringing the human core of existence together at one platform, that we are all connected despite where we come from, the caste, creed, color. No matter where we come from, we are connected with the same thread of divinity. So that happens in the higher stage of yoga. Once the awareness level is heightened towards understanding the very subtle nature of our existence, which is nothing but a manifestation of our own reality. Once that stage is reached, then you can actually understand the entire concept of inclusiveness. Because at this point in time, we are so blinded by our own dispositions. When I say dispositions, I mean that our vision has been blurred by our senses. So you see, we use the 5 senses, right? But we are dissipating our energy through these senses, and they are just getting dissipated through and scattered through. All we have to do is, once we become more aware, we reach to a heightened level of awareness where we are able to crystallize these meandering senses into some constructive form of achievement. And that constructive form of achievement is the a form of real yoga, real sense of yoga. When we are able to create harmony within, we know that we are very much aligned with the higher cosmic energy. We are part of the same, and our body and mind come to one page because there is a conscious breathing. You don't tell yourself that you are breathing consciously. It's just that you become more aware about things around you. It is not about reaching to a higher place or segregating yourself from the rest of the world. It is all about creating a final version of yourself, which happens with the awareness. So as the awareness expands, then inclusiveness just automatically happens. So it is all about creating that level of awareness through practice of yoga, through practice of pranayama.